Hello there everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Good Game of Fun with me, THP, talking to you guys once again. Hopefully all of you guys are doing just fine. And oh man, I am very excited to cover this particular news story. This is something that I've been hoping for quite a while, ever since the Nintendo Labo VR kit was announced and we saw the trailer and everything and seeing how surprisingly creative and cool it was. I've been wanting to follow it ever since, and one of the things that I said in that video was that, I want this VR thing to, like, just explode. I want this to, really be taken advantage of, you know, by other developers to, make their own games, to make their own, 360-degree apps for YouTube to bring in an update to allow for 360 videos to be played on Nintendo Switch, just like how the PlayStation VR headset handles it. I thought that this was ripe for potential and opportunity for virtual reality gaming to make it on the Switch and have it be wonderful. Especially with all the stuff that we saw in the overview trailer. Everything looked pretty damn good. The frame rate was on point and there was a lot of big scale. It wasn't super as simple as I thought it would be. There's actually some legitimate stuff in there that really caught my attention, that I really desired to look into. I wasn't really interested in any of the other Nintendo Labo kits other than the VR one, you know? I've always said that, you know, whenever this thing comes out, I want to get, like, the little gun and the visor and stuff, just to kind of test it out and see what they do with it. And so, obviously, the little goggles are going to be the thing, you know? Those are, like, the more malleable ones that can be used for various different things. Especially when you have the Joy-Cons kind of lodged in there on the sides, you know? You have a controller for that shit. And, they're gonna do something finally, you know, with Super Mario Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Is gonna add Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 04 VR kit compatibility on April the 25th. Now this is the thing that really shocked me, because when I was talking about other developers making stuff for Labo, I was thinking like indie studios. I was thinking like, you know, oh, Ubisoft is bringing, you know, Eagle Flight. I was thinking just people porting older stuff over to the Switch, you know? Having like Dreadhalls or Super Hypercube or anything, you know, small and simple that you can just port over. Thumper, you know? What about Thumper? That game is on Switch. Will that get a VR update? That would be amazing if it did, you know? That's kind of what I was wondering. But out of all people, the last people that I was expecting to show Nintendo Labo VR support on other games outside of the VR kit is Nintendo. And so they are taking their two most biggest games on Switch, Super Mario Odyssey, A Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and they are giving it a Nintendo Labo VR support. So to me, this kind of proves that, hey, you can do a whole lot more with this than I was personally expecting. And that what other people were expecting. A lot of people, for some reason, are being very negative about this, being very cynical about how this is not going to work, in the same way that, you know, people were saying, oh, PlayStation VR, I'm sure the one guy, the one or two guys that bought the headset will love all those games that are coming out, but, the VR headset has sold, I think, recently, like, 4 million units. Like, there are a lot of people still buying this thing, and I feel like, you know, the potential is there. There's still VR games coming out on PS4, and I feel like Nintendo, I think it would be bad for them to not get into it in some shape, way, or form, you know? At this point, the only console that doesn't have VR would just be Xbox. With, you know, they were saying that they were going to have VR at some point, but we really haven't seen them kind of do anything with it after that. After just them mentioning, oh yeah, all of these teraflops, we can do great VR with this. But, you know, the article says, both Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild are available on Switch. They're going to get updates, and there's a trailer for this, where you can actually see how this works. So, one of them is interesting, is exactly what you'd expect, but then with the other one, with Breath of the Wild, is left a little bit unclear what it actually is, but if it is what I think it is gonna leave me very, very excited. Let's see. I don't think this is on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Alright, Nintendo Labo, here we go. See Mario's world in a whole new way with Nintendo Labo VR. Join Mario for a bite-sized bonus experience in simple, family-friendly VR. Yeah, it's really weird. They want to advertise the Nintendo Switch to, like, young adults and stuff, but the VR thing specifically has to be family-friendly. I don't know why. Cap, Seaside Lunch. Yeah, you can actually go into all of these worlds and actually do Mario stuff on it. Like, you can actually use the Joy-Cons and play with it. This is legitimately really cool. And so this is you seeing it, you know? You're legitimately playing like a mini Mario level in VR. And other Zelda stuff. See Link's world in a whole new way. So here they leave it very ambiguous. Enjoy this epic adventure like never before. Oh, you see, there we go. That's a small detail there. Pre-rendered cutscenes right here in the corner. Pre-rendered cutscenes are not compatible with virtual reality. So my assumption is one of two things. Either they just flat out skip the cutscenes, or it's going to be like a lot of these games that I see in PlayStation VR, where they just create like a screen in front of you and you just watch it, you know? But then, you know, that kind of implies, okay, so what is compatible with VR? The rest of the damn game? They don't really show you what the game looks like in virtual reality. They just show you the regular game. Turn the feature on and off in a snap. So, like, at any point in the game, you can just use... You don't need to start a new save file to enjoy the VR experience. Wait, so, like, do you just play the game? Is it just like dead-ass Breath of the Wild in virtual reality? The vast kingdom of Hyrule awaits. Yeah, because they don't specify it in the same way that they do with Mario. With Mario, they say these are bite-sized little bonus levels. Like, this is not the whole game. This is just like a small little pack of levels that you can play around in, like a small little tiny sandbox that you can see in virtual reality. This is not anything super special or groundbreaking. Don't, you know, temper your expectations, because it's not going to be like that, you know? It's not going to be the entire game. I would love it if it was the entire game, because I've played other games like Super Lucky's Tale and stuff like that. It's like a platformer, very Mario-esque, and that works really well in VR. So, you know, I wouldn't mind Mario Odyssey in VR, the whole thing. But, you know, it's understandable. They make it very clear for you. But here with Zelda, they don't say, oh, this is just a bite-sized thing, you know? They say, experience the vast world of Hyrule in VR. So to me, this seems almost like a Skyrim kind of thing, where like the whole game is in VR, you know? The entire camera viewpoint, you can see it in virtual reality, and you can play the whole game in virtual reality. Now, the thing that I am worried about is that this is compatible with the goggles, right? And the goggles don't really have like a Velcro strap or, you know, plastic or anything for you to be able to put it on your head for you to be able to play it comfortably. It seems like you just have the loose... you know, cardboard setup, and then you have the Joy-Cons on the side, and then you hold it up to your face, and you play it with the Joy-Cons up here, you know? I can imagine a lot of people's arms getting really tired from just holding it like this, you know? Or people are gonna be in their chairs, and they're just gonna, you know, look down like this, you know, and rest their arms on an armrest or something like that. Or maybe laying down, I have no idea. But, it is at this moment where I really feel like it could have been so much better to have some sort of strap, or just go all the way with it and have some sort of plastic peripheral that you can strap onto your head, you know, like a halo ring that you can adjust, and then you can just look at it, you know? Because if you're gonna go as far as to have Mario levels, and, you know, arguably, you know, based on what I've seen here, the entirety of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game in virtual reality, except for the pre-rendered cutscenes, and, you know, you don't even have to go for a new save file. You know, this is not like a brand new level bundle pack or a mini thing. This is the whole thing, you know, unless they say otherwise. So, I feel like it'd be really weird for me to always be just holding the thing like that, you know? I would like it so much more if I could have some sort of strap or some sort of magic duct tape or whatever, put the thing on my head, and then get the Joy-Cons out of the Switch, and then just, you know, with my loose hands like this, you know, just start playing it like that, you know? I feel like that'd be so much more comfortable. Now, of course, people have said already that the Velcro strap wouldn't be a good idea because the weight of the Switch tablet would be unbalanced as opposed to, you know, as opposed to the Velcro. It would be out of balance, and it'd be really top-heavy, and so it would weigh down in your head, and that really fucks up your neck, and I know, I felt it. So, what they would need to do is to have, like, an actual legitimate peripheral, like, weighted plastic, so that all of the weight is spread out evenly, and you don't have a headache, you know, after, you know, A, the motion controls, and B, the weight of it, you know? I know that a lot of people struggle with the HTC Vive, because it is just Velcro and this big-ass, you know, visor at the front, you know? So it takes a lot of time to adjust. On top of that, let's take a look at other stuff. So, Super Mario Odyssey. So this is for Odyssey specifically. Virtual reality kit screenshots. So this is just screenshots This is kind of summarizing what was happening before. The Japanese Twitter account shared screenshots and a few new details about the Toy-Con VR Kit experience coming tomorrow on Odyssey via free update, by the way. That's the best part out of all of this. This is not a paid expansion. This is a completely and utterly free thing that you can do. And if Nintendo can do it, I'm pretty sure other smaller developers can probably do some virtual reality stuff as well, right? It's impressive how I was saying that, you know, the VR stuff should expand to other games. And Nintendo was the one doing it, you know, so to me that's impressive. I thought that other companies would do it, and then maybe inspire Nintendo to do it later. Players will revisit the Cap Kingdom, Seaside Kingdom, and Luncheon Kingdom, where they must collect the music notes scattered throughout each kingdom to obtain various instruments. By giving the instruments to performers, they will become bandmates, and when the band is fully assembled, they'll put on a concert at the Music Club in Metro Kingdom. Yeah, so, that's what they mean by mini missions. Do the musical note thing, and get the instrument, and then it all ends at the Metro place, and that's it. You know, that's kind of the whole thing. It's just kind of a proof of concept, you know, as a way to just kind of showing you how that works. Look at that. The resolution there is big, but that's just for the promotion. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of memes of this, of Mario looking into the VR headset, having a really good time looking at some hentai there on YouTube. 360-degree video pole dancing, know what I mean? And then you have Mario stealing someone's Casio keyboard, the bastard. 720p, by the way. Yeah. And then you have, yeah, the dude there. So, I'm assuming this is all supposed to be from your perspective, you know, watching this in virtual reality. And then the singer, yeah. Yeah, and then Pauline, I'm assuming, yeah, looking around, looking at Pauline from all angles. Yeah, that'll be the best part. Yeah, if they, you know, add YouTube 360-degree videos onto Nintendo Switch through the VR thing, all bets are off. They open Pandora's box. There's gonna be freaking hentai on hentai on the damn Switch. And I'll enjoy that quite a lot. You know, Dead or Alive Extreme 3 has a VR mode on PlayStation VR. Will there be a VR mode on the Nintendo Switch version? Because that's on Switch. I feel like there won't be, because the game kind of struggles to run as is. The game on its own is running at 30 FPS. So, I can't imagine. You need a really high frame rate to be able to run a VR game competently without motion sickness or anything like that. So, I really don't see them doing a VR title that's in 30 FPS. They would have to have it in 60, but if they can't even have the base game at 60, then I feel like we're not gonna get that. Same thing for other games like Galgun, you know? Galgun 2 also has virtual reality support on Steam. Steam specifically. It doesn't have it on PlayStation, not that I know of. I haven't actually gone to check, but if Galgun 2 does have PlayStation VR support, then that'd be amazing. But as far as I know, it's only on Steam. And so, again, very similar to Dead or Alive. The base game only runs at 30 FPS. Just on its own, it doesn't really run as well as on other platforms. So, I sincerely doubt that there will ever be a virtual reality version of Galgun coming out on Switch. Even though I would personally love that. I think that'd be great, but based on the processing power of the Switch and what it's capable of, even though I have seen, you know, Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, those are not easy games to have running, you know? Like, those games do take a lot of power, and they all run at 60 FPS, and they look and, you know, play beautifully on the Switch with no technical problems at all, in my opinion. So, I like to believe that if people are smart enough and they optimize well enough, it is possible, you know? At the very least for smaller stuff, you know? I'm not necessarily asking for Bethesda to bring Skyrim VR to the Nintendo Switch, right? Even though that is an older game, you know, older PS3 game. Who knows? Maybe it might be possible. No idea. But I feel like nobody will know if people don't try, you know? I feel like this is the perfect opportunity, and seeing the Mario and the Zelda stuff, this is the perfect test, the perfect demonstration to be like, hey, a lot of stuff is possible with this. So, don't be afraid. Just go for it. Even if it means tacking on something on top of a game that you already have out, you know? It wouldn't be bad to have some sort of update. Or, you know, $5 DLC or whatever to add a VR mode or something. I feel like the effort would be worth it. I feel like that would it would make the basis and the groundwork for other people to really take the leap and make VR games not just for PC, not just for PlayStation VR, but also for Nintendo Switch, all with this little cardboard thing. And if it takes off, you know, hopefully they make like a brand new Virtual Boy or something and truly bring virtual reality to Nintendo, you know? And again, there has always been rumors about a Switch Pro, a much more powerful Switch 2.0 or whatever that, you know, has more processing power and better frame rate and runs games a lot better. And I feel like it would be at that time where it would be absolutely perfect. The best opportunity to be like, hey, now we're like going all in on the VR thing. Now we can get all these games to run better. And you can actually strap it onto your head as opposed to just holding it like this with the Labo stuff. So, yeah. I feel like Labo is probably one of the best decisions Nintendo has made. One of the most creative things Nintendo has come up with. I like this a lot. I just really hope that they don't pull a Sony on us, and then they just abandon it, and it just kind of gets forgotten. And then you have all the people in the comments going, haha, see, I told you it sucked. Like, just, I don't want the cynicism of the community to just bring this down, you know? I feel like virtual reality, out of all of the brand new things that has been introduced in the gaming industry, you know, back in the day it was all just D-pad, and then they brought in analog sticks. Before it was all 2D, they brought in 3D, and then the graphic kept looking nicer and nicer and nicer, you know? A lot of trends and improvements and things have come out of unexpected places, or things that were initially seen as gimmicks, but then a lot of these gimmicks stick, and people don't call them gimmicks anymore because people feel comfortable with them. So I feel like virtual reality is just too good and too profound and too meaningful and I've had too many amazing experiences in VR for people to just fucking forget about it, you know? And, I've said this before, I've said that in the previous Labo video, if anybody can bring virtual reality into the mainstream, is Nintendo. You can see it in their strategy by making it family-friendly, as opposed to the young adult, advertisements for the regular Nintendo Switch, you know? They make it family-friendly, simple to understand, and nice and colorful for your mom and your grandma and your dad to get into, and for little kids to get into as well. You got it, you know? If you can get kids to like it, then you're all set. You're set for life, you know? That's how Fortnite got popular. Kids played it, and I think all of the people that work at Epic Games don't have to work for a single day in their life after that because they're making millions with Fortnite. That's an exaggeration. That's not actually true, but, you know, I'm just saying. If you guys enjoyed this video of me talking about, you know, just gushing of a virtual reality with Labo, I am very excited about Zelda specifically because they're kind of implying that you can play the entirety of the game in VR, which that would be incredible. And the Mario stuff looks really fun too, but again, that's like small little mini free update kind of stuff, but I want to look at it nonetheless. It sucks that I probably won't be able to stream that kind of thing at all, because, you know, I'm assuming all the recordings of the VR stuff is, like, developer kits and stuff like that, so you'll probably need a special connection for that anyway. Yeah, now, almost 100% for sure, for a fact, I'm gonna get that Labo kit and buy at least, you know, the starter kit that just comes with the goggles, because that's kind of what I want, you know? The blaster, you know, that's its own thing, you know, I can do that later at my own time. I'm more interested in the goggles, because it seemed like that is going to be the baseline for a lot of people kind of jumping in and doing a whole bunch of other stuff with it. And again, as I've said before, there are a whole bunch of other games that are out on Switch right now that have virtual reality modes in other consoles. Thumper has a VR mode in PlayStation and on Steam as well, you know? So, maybe this is a good opportunity to bring that mode over here on Switch as well, if they can make it work. You know, Thumper is a relatively simple game, so maybe it'll work. I mean, if you can get fucking Breath of the Wild working in VR, why not, right? So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed me gushing about VR, you guys can like this video, and of course you can subscribe, hit that bell icon, comment whatever you want, and any and all social media links are down in the description below. This has been me, THP, signing off, and I'll see you guys next time for some more VR bias and gushing. I really want VR to be on the Switch, man. That would be so awesome. Please, please, cynical gaming community, don't bully this one out of the industry. Seriously, don't fucking negativity your way out of this one. This is such a cool thing. I would love to see it on Switch. And if not on Switch, then maybe on the Switch Pro, you know? It'll inevitably happen, I'm sure. So, just give it a chance. I feel like this is such a great thing that we need to nurture this and encourage this as opposed to just bringing it down with all of our cynicism. So, come on, let's give it a chance.